Hello, love angels. Happy Testimony Tuesday. So, I am coming to you guys live from my car Sunday, February 24th. I just returned from my amazing cruise. I just went to the Bahamas. Well, I went to Port Canaveral in Florida and Nassau, Bahamas. On the Norwegian cruise line. My hair definitely, doesn't look that frizzy. Anyway, as you can see, I'm very, very relaxed. It was such an amazing trip. So amazing. The way God was on that ship. The encounters we had, I just call the trip #Divine Connections because we ran into so many workers. It just gave us a whole new perspective because I've been on cruises before, but this is the first time I was really talking with the workers, and they were workers from Honduras, Costa Rica, Zimbabwe, any place you can think of, and just seeing all the different cultures, and it was literally like home away from home, and like your family, pretty much, like people that you see on the elevator, you say hello to, you go to the parties, you dance, you meet people. It was just so amazing. It truly was. Like, one testimony that my friend and I are going to be sharing, till God knows when. There was a man, so me and her, shout outs to my friend Monet, and our friend Patsy, we were all standing in the hallway just talking, and this worker walked by. And he looked very aggravated. I didn't see him because of the way my door was, but she did. And she was like, "It's not that bad." That's all she said. And then he kind of went back and forth. And he was just trying to get into this door. And he couldn't get in. And then, just to say, that was all God. That did not happen by accident. The fact that he couldn't get into that door. And I told her, I'm like, the reason he couldn't get into that door is because he was supposed to stand there and talk with us. So Monet, definitely is the one who saw him, and he came over, and she was just like ministering to him and just encouraging him. And Patsy and I too were, just sharing things and encouraging as well. And one of the questions I asked him was, "Do you have a prayer life?" And he said he does pray. And, I did share the part with me as far as, like, starting your day off with prayer is so significant. Like, if I don't start my day off with prayer, my day actually does feel off. So, we were talking about that and how he has to get into the Word and know God's promises for himself and not to let the stresses of work get to him. And mind you, this was a conversation that went on for a while. Needless to say, by the end of it, he was definitely more positive and peaceful about it. Maybe 2 days later, we were coming back from a party, and we were on a floor that's not our floor, but look at God, we were supposed to be there. So he came over and he was sharing his testimony as to what happened after he spoke with us. And it was just amazing to see the peace, like the peace that surpasses understanding was all around him. And then he was sharing his testimony with us. It was just so amazing. And then we said before we left, we hope we see him. And I was like, we're going to see him. God's going to make sure of that. As soon as we were leaving today, we saw him. And the crazy thing is, we all go through things. And my friend in particular was going through some stuff. And we were talking about some things right before seeing him. And in the end, and his name, I won't say his name. But in the end, he was encouraging her. And it was just amazing. Like, I have chills just thinking about it, how God brings things full circle. And we just told him, like, just to continue to share that positivity, that love. His love for God, the testimony is just his encouragement with everybody, his testimony, because it's going to bless so many lives. And, like, we were ministering and encouraging him, but then he ministered to us, and he blessed us. And that's what it's all about. That's what, being a part of God's kingdom is all about. We're supposed to minister and encourage and love one another and just walk in God's love at all times. And that's the biggest testimony I have to share. And also just speaking with them to find out, they don't get days off, like they're servicing us. And to see some of the people, just kind of take them for granted. Everywhere I went, I'm just like, thank you so much. Thank you for your service. Thank you. Thank you. I want them to know that they're appreciated. I have to say this because it's one of the biggest highlights of my trip. Shout outs to my chef. I call him my chef. His name is Mohammed. And I'm shouting him out because He was absolutely amazing. As you guys know, I follow a strict vegan plant-based diet, and I was a little bit worried that they wouldn't have any options for me, but I was at the same time like, everyone now is doing the whole vegan journey, for the most part vegetarian. They're gonna have something. But it was very hard. At the beginning, I was eating some fruit, because I told you guys I was gonna go back to the fruit, and vegetables, but they didn't have any kind of, everyone else is eating cheesecake and different pastries. And not that I wanted to eat that, but I wanted to have an option to maybe treat myself. I was on a cruise, I spent money for this. So they accommodated me in a few restaurants, and they actually made me a vegan apple pie. It was gluten-free as well, because I was making sure the whole time. I was still, I can honestly say that I look exactly the same way I did when I left. Maybe even smaller. My abs were still intact. I was very happy about that. It was good because I treated myself, but it was a fitness cruise. So we worked out, we ate, we had fun, and I was very mindful of what I ate. A lot of people I was with, was their first cruises, so they didn't know what to expect. And I remember my first cruise with the food. It can get overwhelming. You can kind of go, and then you're like, uh-oh, what happened? So I'm happy to say that didn't happen to me. Thanks be to God. But anyway, when I saw him, I was like, are there any vegan options? Because there was a lot of food there, but you can't tell if it's cooked in butter or not. And there were things that I almost grabbed that were cooked in butter, and thank God I didn't grab it. So I was like, oh, can I eat this? And he was like, that was sprayed with butter. He was like, here's what I'm going to do. He gave me his business card. He said he would hook me up for the whole week. And he did. I would see him. I would just ask for Chef Mohammed. And he prepared breakfast for me. He would lunch, dinner, whatever I needed. Yesterday he made me, because I really wanted a burger, he made me soy-free vegan burgers out of beans. He's just some apple cider vinegar, he said, some kidney beans, lentils, white beans, and it was so delicious. He made, oh my God, sorry about that, y'all. So he made me sweet potato fries, a vegetable stir fry. It was amazing. I had to give him a huge tip and a hug, and I definitely wrote out one of those reviews for him, because he was absolutely amazing. But what was so amazing is that yesterday we really talked. We were talking for a good hour, just about how long he's been there, how the contracts work, how it is working with everybody, their families. And that's what touched my heart the most, is that a lot of them are there because they're providing for their families back in Honduras, Costa Rica. Some of them don't want to be where they are, but they're doing it as a sacrifice for their family. And others, it was nice to see. I met a girl yesterday who, she just got on the boat when we got on the boat on Sunday. It was her first contract, and just to see the excitement in her eyes. And I just pray that stays, because, and the good thing is they all have a good mindset in regards to you're going to run into people you don't get along with, or things aren't always going to be peachy. And that goes for anywhere. But, for the most part, all of the ones that I met, they seem happy, And I just want to take this time even for you guys for those who do cruises, or just in general, people who service you, just to really appreciate that. We can't take it for granted, on the cruise ship, you can leave your plates and stuff wherever and people would take it. But someone left a plate of macaroni and cheese on the elevator floor. Someone left a bowl and wine glasses in the bathroom. It's come on now. Really? So, and just to say thank you, just to say hello. You don't even know the smiles that I saw when I was walking by. And I'm just thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for everything. And it put a smile on their face, because they're working so hard. You don't want them to feel like they're just working for nothing, And it was so, yesterday I just took an evening to kind of reflect, and I wanted to have just some one-on-one time with myself. And in that, I talked to the woman. I spoke with my chef, who I didn't get to speak with like that for the whole week. And it was just a blessing, I have to say. Just all of the people. I met so many amazing people. But the divine connections, I have to say, was the biggest part. Of course, we laughed, we ate, we watched shows. But that was really what was such a blessing. God was all over that ship. Through it, above it, under it, over it. So, yeah. That's my testimony. But I think I'm going to end this video. So if those of you are watching, with some clips of some of the fun that we had. I'm going to put a few of the videos that we did, and some of the blueness of the water when we were at the Bahamas, And it was just like so many adventures. It's too much to go through. But those are some of my highlights. So I hope you enjoy. Love you all. Thank you for watching God's Glory. God bless. All right, love angels. This is where I am. Sorry, it's going to be a break from this wall. This is heaven. Oh my gosh. This is absolutely amazing. I get to look at this while I work out. I can just lay out and just really be one with God and with all of this beautifulness that He created.
Wait for my signal. Let's go! 1, 2, 3, 4. Go! 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right foot. Forward. 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 Go. Left foot. Left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. More. Touch your body. And go. Swing, and 2, 4.
There's coffee. So that's coffee. I love it.
Someone healed inside, someone I thought had died so long ago. Oh, I'm screaming out, and my dreams will be heard. They will all be pushed aside and turned into your own, or 'cause you won't listen. Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for the cast? Ladies and gentlemen, your Storytime and Storytime! Your casino team! Your family lifestyle!
Yes!
Give it up for your restaurant team! Coming to the stage, our culinary team! Our senior officer! Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for your amazing escape family! Come on, everybody! And keep